Kids are crazy. So, good to be with you guys. I hope you're doing well. Today we are going to be talking about risk management. And Zohan is going to be joining us into the latter part of the show to introduce himself and share a bit about his story when it comes to risk management. I'm also going to do the same, actually. When it came to risk management, I started off by drawing a blank. Risk management is pretty chilled. Like, you got your risk reward ratio, set a stop loss, and then you're pretty good. Until I realized how negatively impacted I was by negligence, call it gross negligence, like the worst risk management idea in the history of trading, right? So I want to tell you a story about what happened to me back in 2020, the night before my birthday. So it was the 19th of February, and I suppose before I tell you that, I should tell you the preface to what happened that day and the significance of it. In 2017, I came across this phenomenal technology, blockchain, trading, charting, and I had such an obsession towards it that I let go of everything else. It wasn't overnight. By little, I was just relinquishing my Airbnb, then my entertainment company that provided events, organizing and DJs from around the world and that kind of stuff, and then my highly paying, very stressful corporate life as well. So I unthreaded each component one at a time, and little by little, I went all in on trading. So when I had done that, I realized that the system for me was something that wasn't congruent to who I was anymore. So climbing the corporate ladder, shooting out the lights quarter after quarter, having excess capital, disposable income, which I just basically burnt at all the luxury outlets and VIP bars and that kind of stuff anyway. So there's all the components I wanted to step away from, alongside the idea of traffic and mundane routine, having to answer to meetings and send minutes, and it was just like this. It was just weighing me down. So I wanted to unsubscribe, not only from the system itself, because I just had enough of it, like I just gone too hard into it, but also from the restraint of having things. And I was at a festival where someone said, "Have you tried magic mushrooms?" And I was like, "What are you talking about, bro? I eat like chicken and mushroom pie. Is that the same thing? What do you mean magic mushrooms?" He said, "Take these magic mushrooms." I said, "As long as it doesn't like warp my mind, then okay." So I did. And then this opened up my pineal gland, which is like your cosmic cell phone. And I saw sacred geometrical shapes and universal knowledge and this whole outside of the human constraint realm that I thought, wow, this looks exciting. And then I got back into my life, and I saw how much was weighing me down. Just like the 6 computer screens I had on my trade desk, the SUV, the 8-bedroom house, the lawn that always needed upkeep, always like there was just so much weighing me down. All the sports gear and the road bike, and then the mountain bike, and then it was just like so much. And I just thought, okay, this is killing me. And in stages, I just started starting off all the unnecessary luxury items and reduced it down to the core items, and then reduced everything, including the house, including the cars, everything, down to 2 travel bags. So, because excess luggage costs a fortune. So I took my most prized possessions, of everything I had, including king-size beds in every bedroom, lounges, I think you guys get the point, dining tables that were like 20-seaters. It all had to go because it was just weighing me down. So we put everything that we sold onto a beautiful loop in the system, something that was kind of new to many and something that I felt very proud of. And that was, of course, Bitcoin and the blockchain. It was like this whole rebellion move against the system, rebellion against the banking environment, rebellion just against. Like, we're just tired of what was, and we leant into the unknown. So I knew Bitcoin would always have my back, and I had absolute confidence in it because the obsession I had for it and trading and crypto and blockchain at the time was so borderline unhealthy that I just trusted in the fact that I'll always find a way. So I did that. And we bought tickets to Brazil, and out of Africa we went, and then from Brazil we went up through Peru, through Ecuador, and then landed up in Panama for a while. There's actually quite a lot to do in Panama. I think of everyone we met, we bar none, even the locals, even the guys who've been staying there for 15 years, we bar none did more than anyone we met. Okay, so selling off our tangibles, our physical environments, for a cause, I suppose, almost like that rebellion, stand against, the protest, and put it onto non-tangible was one of the smartest things I thought I could do, because now the world is ours and we're fluid, and the only thing that's stopping us is borders, right? And how you break through borders as you invest in a country, and you set up a shell company there, and buy maybe like a small flat or whatever. So we weren't too concerned about not being able to get into anywhere, because you just phone up some lawyers, buy a bit of land, and then they'll find a way to get you some form of a visa in there. And that's obviously important to me, because from Africa, a lot of the world makes it a pain in the ass for us to get through the borders, because it's just the way it is. So everything was great until the night before my birthday, 2020. And I think the best way to describe that incident was me pulling an Icarus. Icarus is the bro who flew too close to the sun and got burnt. And we were on just such a positive streak. We were seeing the world. We were going from the Andes Mountains to the Amazon jungle to like this rainforest with these like crazy tall waterfalls and just like that fine mist on your face. Going through like the picture perfect surf beaches where there's a wave all day. You can just walk in, duck your head under the tube, ride it, and then go home for breakfast, and it'll be there waiting for you for some more. Just in terms of how the cove was set up, it was just perfect. You could see through the water. There was tropical fish nearby. It was like island life. There was just reggae and like just like this vibe happening all the time, and we were living in bliss. The sunsets were like just they silenced you. That was so beautiful. And the reflection off of the shore, it was all just almost too much. The silhouettes of the islands, man, just gorgeous. Okay, so we were living our best life, and I totally relaxed into the moment, and I started to feel invincible, if I was being honest. Like at the surf camp or the beach camp, there were all these like these private hotels and very exclusive boutique setups, and I just felt like all the models around the world just were there. They just went there in their tiny bikinis or short shorts if they were dudes, and there were just beautiful people all around. There's bonfires at night, and we were living the life. So the point I'm going to get to is that I had a 36 win streak, and I put everything from Binance across to Bybit because it was in a bull trend. And also I was getting a little bit finicky with Binance at the time for particular reasons, and Bybit was an exchange that I was loving in the sense of I had a relationship with it, because the coders and the R&D team would come to me and ask for advice as to what features are missing, what features would be best to enroll next. And I was giving them my user experience, and they invited me in and started giving me rewards and a whole bunch of stuff. I got like a silver coin that they flew over to me with Binance, with Bybit on it, to say thanks, etc., etc. So I was already connected to these guys, and one of the developments that were happening, because they were very new, was introducing isolated margin. Okay, and I'll get to that in a second. And at the time, because it was still very new, well, it wasn't so very new, it was new in development, but they had some stuff to be released, but it wasn't released. So one of the things that weren't released was a stable coin wallet. So with Binance, you could hold your capital in USDT and then take your capital out, and I'll call it working capital, and then go through your trades and put your profit away into your wallet, and then that's it, call it a day. Bybit didn't have it at the time. They were slowly introducing the concept of an isolated risk, but they were just operating on cross margin. So I thought, well, with this romantic situation, what could go wrong? Okay, never ask yourself that question because you will be afraid of what comes up. So with this romantic situation, I did something that I'll never do again, something that will stick with me forever, and something I'll always be able to, with passion, advise others against. And that is just like going back at it, I'm like, what are you thinking, you idiot? But I just got to remind myself that at a 36 win streak, life was peaking. All right, it was like almost too good to be true. And I was trading for myself, and I couldn't step out of place. Like I couldn't do anything wrong. So the night before my birthday, I was DJing the Sunset Sessions, and I think I may have had a cocktail or something to that effect. And they have like a co-working room where you can put your laptop in, and you can actually like leave it there. It's so safe and all that kind of stuff. And that's where the Wi-Fi was, because we're so secluded. Not everyone had internet connection, so they only had like kind of like dedicated direct internet within the co-working area. So I said that's cool. And I went off to do my DJ sets, and what I didn't do was check if I clicked OK on the stop loss. I basically didn't set a stop loss. So because Bitcoin was in an uptrend at that point, I put my entire holding, like I know it's so stupid, but I put it all into Bitcoin, and because I was preferential towards Bybit at the time because of the relationship, I put it all into Bybit, which is something I never do. Okay, so there's obviously some form of universal jumping into my movie that had to shake me up so I could do something like this, for example. Anyway, so I had done that, and at the time it was on cross margin, and it was high leverage, right? So the account was in, and it was like every time price would move, it would be like thousands moving with it. And I went to the DJ set again night before my birthday. Like the day after was also bliss. We had let's have a look here. We booked a trip to this island, which you basically need a passport to get into, even if you are in Panama. And there's these beautiful white shells underneath here. It's called Iguana Island, and I love iguanas. And I haven't seen iguanas in Africa. And this whole island just has like such a beautiful variety of iguanas, and you go diving, there's tropical fish. It was perfect. Okay, so I'm living my best life. Walk away from my laptop. Don't set here's what Bybit looks like. Oh, it's so painful to look at. No, I'm not going to log in because it needs 2FA. But over here, you got cross margin and isolated now. Back then, because I was very new, it didn't. So I just said cross margin. I didn't have my stop loss set. I had my full account holding, and I won't tell you how much it was because I might vomit on the spot. On the exchange, I opened up a position again without setting a stop loss, and because cross margin doesn't isolate the risk to just that position, it will bleed into your account to make up for the loss that okay. So how leverage works is that you're taking money from someone else to trade with. If, for example, it goes below a certain threshold, that person that you're lending from, or the exchange that you're lending from, goes into a deficit. Like it goes into a loss, and no investor wants to get into a liability that's strong. So that's why liquidation exists. So there's a liquidation price, which is a point that will take you out of the trade automatically to ensure that the capital holding of the money that you've borrowed won't get damaged, right? So that's why liquidation exists, as I said. And if you don't have a stop loss and you're on cross margin, it will go in to make sure that they are taken care of into your account to make sure that they paid. Oh my God, GameStop happened to me. Beside the point. So the liquidation happened. So the stop loss didn't save me against liquidation. A liquidation went beyond. I think I was like so stupid at the time. I was using like 75x leverage or something. And I just kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going. And I wasn't even there to witness it, but I came back and I thought I'd been hacked. I looked at my withdrawal and there was nothing there. And I'd lost literally everything that day. Wow. So here we are, Central America, feeling as if we're unstoppable and literally reduced to nothing. I cried for about 6 hours. Let me tell you that. I kicked sand. I threw sticks. I threw rocks into the ocean as high as I could. Obviously, it didn't hurt anyone else or like animals or anything like that, but whatever I could stump my foot on and express my anguish on, I did. Like, I think I was like eating sand at one point because I was crying into the beach sand and what had happened, and it just all gone. And here we are, like, we haven't thankfully the birthday excursion was paid for, so the taxi and all the kind of stuff was paid up front. But coming back, even being on my birthday on the beautiful island like that, and just realizing like we've gone to zero, was a terrible feeling. Okay, so when I started this day off thinking, well, it'll just be a bit of a mild discussion around risk management, the story popped to mind. I just thought I'd share with you guys, like, you can't underestimate the skill set required, such as risk management, whilst considering professional trades or moving into a professional trading career. Because before you know it, you can do one technical thing wrong. For example, what I did. Granted, we didn't have the protection we have these days. I mean, when I first started trading, they didn't even have stop losses. It was just like, get in and hope. If the price goes down, you just didn't buy the bottom. That was it. That's how rough it was. Oh man, I can't believe I'm still around. Hey, what an absolutely dog show it's been. Anyway, so through my pain and anguish, I am now wiser and therefore can quite passionately recommend certain attributes to your trading. And that is always obviously trade with the stop loss and so forth and so on. So yeah, so that's my story about bad risk management. It basically changed my life. I probably still would have been traveling the world with my wife. I don't know, just living that hotel life. It's exhausting, let me tell you that much. But because of that, I had to get very creative, call on friends and family to manage their accounts, do a profit share in terms of splitting what I made with them and keeping what I could to survive. And then therefore finding out that FTMO and prop firms exist because it's the same concept, but you just have access to a ton more capital without the downside. And then obviously the pandemic took a lot of guys out, a lot of friends of mine out in terms of their business. They closed. It was just an absolute disruptor. And I thought, well, here's my opportunity to teach MTOPS. So that's a little side story as to what happened after that story. So as much as it kills me, here we are today. All right, guys. So risk management. All right. It's a big topic. It's not a small topic as I thought it may have been. So make sure that you kind of pay attention. When I say kind of, listen with all ears, right? So as you know, we have coaches. And one of the coaches for risk management is our good friend Zohan. So he is going to be stepping in for the risk management team and also give us the walkthrough as to how he sees we should protect our capital going void. Yeah, absolutely. So Bobby, when you say that, you know what it's like to have the external circumstances retract you from your normal life, aka your job, and then you got a kid coming in 2 weeks later. Like, by the way, just this is I don't know how much more I should hang out over here, but that weekend, like 2 weeks prior to that experience, my wife came to me. Okay, I'll tell you a story. You guys are cool. So she came to me and she said, "Listen, no more waiting. It's time to have a baby." And because we had done so much, and because we were just at that at such a peak, I thought, you know what? We've seen so much. We've done so much. The next step has to be parenting a child. So hells yes, I'm down for it. Let's plan for it to be like on my birthday. So we did. However, our anniversary, and that's a whole another story. Our anniversary coincidentally landed up. We got married on Valentine's Day. So between Valentine's Day and my birthday, we conceived our son. However, come to think of it now, that island I showed you, that was where the let me just give you a visual once more. Isla Iguana, the Iguana Island. So the the plan was to sneak out to, there's a lookout point somewhere. I think it's there. Behind here, there's like this grand tree. I might get my bearings wrong. I think the grand tree is over there. Like this big, wise, beautiful, wonderful tree. And obviously it overlooks the mountain. I mean, the water and everything beautiful around here. So the idea, sorry for the cool story, but was to conceive our baby boy on that island. And actually what happened was we conceived him 3 days beforehand, and it was at some beautiful side of the jungle waterfall, like this little crystal pool. It's absolutely beautiful. Anyway, so it happened there instead of on the island. Thank God. Because if what happened happened on the 19th of February, and we gone to the island to enjoy my birthday, but also to conceive our boy, there's no chance he would have been conceived that day. Let me tell you. Talk about performance anxiety. There's absolutely no way they would have been conceived there. So yeah, all works out in the end, I guess. Okay, cool. Yeah, it did. It was very impactful. It impacted my stomach really hard, and my tear ducts. I don't think I've ever cried that much in my life, including being a baby. Okay, so back to the story. Zohan is, I've asked him to put together a 5-part course, if you will, of what we'll be discussing over the next 5 weeks. The topics that he's very smartly come forth with is the 5 that you see here. Okay, so under risk management, we're going to be talking about taking risk out of capital management. I'm not quite sure what he means by that. I'm sure you'll be able to clarify it as we go. Taking risk out of capital management. Okay, it's just saying taking risk out of managing capital, which I understand. Okay, cool. So it's lowering risk as much as possible. Preserving your account balance and growing it. Absolutely. So preservation of account, like I said, we now have the facilities to preserve our accounts by having separate wallets or by utilizing other companies' money so it doesn't impact your personal life. And also you've got stablecoin wallets. If you trade in crypto, is what I'm talking about there. You can keep your USDT in that wallet instead of watching your account balance get absolutely annihilated if something goes wrong. Another version of something going wrong is buying in at December, obviously thinking that the price is going to double or triple within that month because it did 4 years ago, and there's obviously December, this is what happens now, and all the news is kind of suggesting that kind of stuff. And what happens instead is that price goes down to 28,000. So are we down to 28,000 now? 26,000. I knew it. Guys, I'll get back to that in a second. We called this, like, honestly, a month ago. It's even inside the frame in which we said it was going to go to. All of a sudden, the loss I took in 2020 means nothing. Because sharing this, not to get awkward, but sharing this with you guys far surpasses any rich on my own life where I wouldn't be feeling and going through the pains of what it's like to be a trader and a new trader or someone who wants to be in this space. And helping guys go through it. Like, I've gone through so much pain, I can't even begin to tell you. So I'm super grateful in hindsight that it all went down, because just this moment, being able to share this moment with you guys, where we called a price action to this degree, all right, over a month ago, it's now within the range in which we had said it's going to be. And as I made mention to, it would be, enter the 20,000s, right? And you can go back if you don't believe me, because it's all there in video. So it's all come true, and it can all come true for you guys as well. And again, the life changing is coming true for guys like Axe, guys like Jason. Those are the two most recent funded. I think Axe has got to get through the verification now. It won't take him much. It's half the target and twice the amount of time, and he's got the TTI. I mean, he would have to deliberately want to lose the verification, which is something you won't want to do. So he's basically funded. And I'm very privileged to be able to be a part of their stories and your story. So yeah, let's go back to the discussion real quick. So protecting your account, once again, this TTI over here, not only does it expand your account, but it genuinely increases the quality of your life. It protects what you already have. It gives you the time freedom to say not now I'll come back later, which again, you just use the time at the bottom here, 2 hours, 6 hours, however long it takes. If you want, take your phone and say, hey Siri, remind me in 2 hours to go back to the charts, or do whatever it is that you need to. Look at a watch if you still wear a watch. 2 hours from now, I got to get back to the charts. And win, dude. So like preserving your account balance, absolutely. Again, the reason why I chose FTMO as our strategic partner is because, or nominates a partner, is because there's no downside if anything goes wrong. I won't tell you a number because I'll let you will vomit, but you'll never know what it's like to lose your account. You'll never know what it's like to lose the amount of capital that will turn your stomach or make you cry for 6 hours. You'll never know what it's like to go to zero. Not only because, MTOPS, but because you're working with other companies' money, they're not going to hold you accountable for the losses. So super important stuff, guys. Everything that we do is well structured and well thought out, okay? And then, of course, preserving your account balance and then growing it. So growing it, you can do that in 100 ways over here. Okay, we've got running out of time, 10 minutes. I'm going to run through this real quick. This is going to be the framework of discussion for the next 5 weeks on a Thursday about mindset. Don't miss it because it's boring. Boring is better, and I can tell you from first-hand experience that it'll be for your best interest to be a part of these discussions. Number 3 says take profits and stop loss according to your targets. That's excellent, especially if you're doing FTMO challenges. You don't need to clock in $3,500 a day if all you need to bring in is $400 a day to pass the challenge. Okay, very important. And also on that note, and I love the guys, so I can be open and honest. Please don't be intimidated or overly stimulated by wins that you may see coming through. Like when Josh posts $181,000 in open profit, that is very he built to get up there. So because he's cracking that, don't feel obligated to shoot the lights out on the on FTMO challenge. All you need to do is get through what is required of you, and that is $400 a day if you're doing the $100,000 thing a month. But we'll get into one day. Okay, so winning or losing streak and how they affect your account balance. Absolutely. So this so again, a 36 winning streak can make you do really stupid things. So you also have to manage the upside of winning. Because it can go real quick if you just get negligent. You are negligent and idiotic. I was an idiot for doing what I did, and I paid the price for it. So not only do you need to pull yourself out of the downward spiral, but you have to manage the upward spiral. Super important. And how they affect your account balance. Yeah, because your emotions will affect your account balance. Psychology and neurology changes in us when we enter or hold and close trades. Okay, this is a big topic, and we will definitely climb into that in detail as you unravel this sequence of sessions. I want to ask Zohan to activate his mic just to give you guys an idea of who he is. He's going to do a light introduction, and if he's got the time, just share a story of how he overcame a struggle and why risk management is so important to him. Zohan, go ahead, brother. You're welcome. Yeah. Oh man, what do we put ourselves through, dude? Just for the love of trading, but it's very serious, hey guys. Like, I'm glad Zohan's got a comeback story, and he's got relevance and reference to the struggle, because unfortunately there are those like us who only learn to not burn our hands on the stovetop by touching the stovetop. It's just the way we're wired. However, to his point, you don't need to go through to rock bottom and have your clients leave you and have 3 dependents look to you for a roof over their head and for food on their table, and that's before real life. That's before entertainment. That's before anything goes wrong. I don't want to get too real here, but life can get quite complicated quite quickly, and you learn very quickly who's your friend and who's your ally, and which of your family members will be there whilst you're going through a hard time. And what I've experienced, quite frankly, is that not many friends or family or any of that kind of setup are willing to put their hands up whilst you're going through a time of need. They might be able to kind of put their hand on your shoulder and help you out a little bit, but life's expensive and life requires a lot. So once you start realizing the impact of what you have here into your real world, to the impact of your family and beyond, you don't necessarily need to go through these bottom-out, reduced to nothing environments to learn that the discipline required here is worthwhile. So again, we've got a 5-week conversation going to roll out over here as to how to navigate around that. Please don't see it as just like coffee table light reading. Like, this comes from real world experiences where we've had to crawl out of difficult situations against the impossible odds of the market, of liquidity, of margin trading, of loaned money to increase their position sizes, of leverage trading to trade down with the market, obviously putting losses into a bigger chunk when things don't work out and having to recover from that, and so on. So this is real life, guys, and the reason why I'm so proud to have the coaches and instructors I have around me is because you can quite comfortably tell that they're willing to put themselves out of their comfort zone for the better and betterment of others. So Zohan has never really activated a microphone and spoken in front of strangers. Not that we're strangers, but you get the point there. This is something completely out of his comfort zone, or something that's new to him. And he faced that fear, and I mean, public speaking is like most people's number one nightmare. So he got out of his own way for the benefit of you guys, just to be a part of this, to be an instructor, to be a coach, to enrich yourselves. And the community around us worldwide, I think more often than not, are willing to do the same. So just recognize not only what you have here and the seriousness of it and the reason that's here, and how we are crafting this to make sure that you have your success story pretty much guaranteed as best as we can, but also recognize the people involved and how wonderful this community is. I don't want to be another Bible basher about how great community is within our environment, because there's tons of private Facebook groups out there and that kind of stuff. But the difference with our environment is that we have the power of MTOPS plus the power of heart, and you get to see this every day, and you get to see lives being changed and being enhanced in many ways going forward. And you can tell that's happening because great guys like Zohan are stepping up to give back. So that's when you know the feedback loop is getting exponential. That's when this upward spiral of ascending is something we can't slow down. Because once you got that momentum going, and I'll talk about that tomorrow in mindset, then you're on a winning streak. Whilst the rest of the world are scratching their heads and running around saying there's blood on the streets and all that kind of stuff, and the markets are just going to keep on going down and they don't know where it's going to stop, and running into chaos and speculating and feeding off each other's fear, we are the self-anointed ones. I've nominated myself, and many of you have as well, to lean forward and actually be the force against the downward spiral and actually step up and do something good and expand and help each other out. So thanks to everyone for showing up today. Thanks again to Zohan for stepping out of his comfort zone for us. And I look forward to our journey together as we expand through this as one. See you guys tomorrow. Have a great day further. Ciao for now.